Hey Blue Adept, here's my somewhat belated response to your video on Psych, the AI system that was designed to have the ability to have common sense reasoning. Sorry, I was re-scanning over your little description thing on your video. Work, blah blah, yakety schmackety, excuses like that. As for why I didn't get to this sooner, but all that aside, here are some of my thoughts on Psych. I think they're on the right track, but they're missing a couple things. I think the idea of inputting information is a good idea, because here's the thing. Some people might disagree that, giving a database of information isn't the way to give a machine the ability to consciously reason based on knowledge, but really, think about it. We as humans are born not understanding common knowledge. A child doesn't understand that if you touch a stove, it'll burn. They have to be told that. They don't understand how to do math. They don't understand how to write and read. Everything we know is something, well, maybe not everything, because we do reach a point at which we begin to come to our own conclusions. But even then, are those conclusions not based on something that we already have established mentally? I can't think of anything that we don't base on something we already know. Even with something like religion or science or any of that, any conclusion we come to is based on something that we've already been told, and we're just forming our own conclusions based on that. I think, how to put this, I'm trying to think out what else I think is really missing from this. If anything, I'd say they need to add some more subroutines to the AI to give it the ability to logically, come to its own conclusions, because I think putting a database together alone won't be enough. Otherwise, then it's just a database. And one could use it as a research database full of information, but it needs to have that ability to reason. I think the has-a and is-a idea is good, because, those are associations that we all make, because I'd say right now, if anything, the ability to come to has-a and is-a type of conclusions would put Psych at the level of a young child. Psych lacks the ability to think and reason beyond the black and white, beyond the simple conclusions that, as you said, a house has a roof, and that sort of thing. The things that any, very young child could also come to the conclusion of. I think, as I said, there need to be more subroutines designed so that it can, in turn, bridge the gaps to make the conclusions of a deeper sort of reasoning, a more in-depth sort of common reasoning. Because I think there's the most basic form of common sense reasoning, which it could be capable of, the sort of thing like, house has a roof, or something like that. But I'd say that, it would also, to possess a deeper kind of common sense reasoning, it would need to have the sense to make more lengthy connections between things that you might not immediately associate, or rather, not you, but, a machine might not immediately associate. Say, for example, let's just say we know that when it rains, lightning strikes and there's thunder. We know that lightning is attracted to metal. Therefore, we conclude that going out with a metal object in hand during a rainstorm, or when it's looking like it's going to have a rainstorm, is a bad idea. You know, it's not much deeper thinking than the basic has-a and is-a, but it's a slightly more advanced sort of common sense, I guess you could say. And hang on a minute, my internet is being stupid. Sorry about that. Microsoft was deciding to be an idiot. But I guess that's my thoughts on it, is that all in all, they're somewhat on the right track, but there's a few more aspects that I don't think they have considered in making Psych a machine capable of common sense reasoning. So that's my thoughts for now. If I have any more thoughts on it, I'll be sure to post a response. So, till next time.